Hello friends, welcome back to the Craft Castle and Happy New Year. With a new year means we get a new calendar, and this year I want to create the most gorgeous calendar ever. We are going to need our Cricuts for this project and a few files off of Creative Fabrica. Creative Fabrica is my go-to SVG website. It is packed filled with any type of file that you're looking for. We are going to download a few and we are going to take pieces of a few of them to make something absolutely amazing that we're going to have all year long. All of the files that I use are going to be linked in the description of this video. So as I am building my 12-month calendar, you can build yours as well. Are you ready to get started? Let's go. Okay, the very first thing you want to do is open up a blank window in Design Space, and we are going to go here into Upload and then Upload Image. Okay, the very first thing you want to do is download the calendar. Okay, so here is my file right here. This particular file has two different options, a Monday start and a Sunday start. It's both the same, just choose whichever one you would prefer. I'm going to do Sunday start, and I want it to be black, so I'm going to go over here to the black. You are going to need to upload all of these images right here. So let's go over into January, which is number 1, and we are going to drag and drop it into Cricut Design Space. We're going to go into Complex and then Continue. This particular image, you don't need to do a whole lot of editing. However, I want to get rid of this right here. So all I'm going to do is come over here into this box tool, and I am going to draw a box around everything I do want. So I want to eliminate that 2024 in the bottom corner, so I'm just going to do it like that. Okay, it's going to look really funky, just trust me. Press apply and continue. We want this to be a print then cut image. I'm just going to rename this January 2024 and then press upload. Okay, you are going to repeat the same steps with all of the months. So we're going to go ahead and upload and go to number 2, which is February, drag and drop, go to Complex, press continue, come up here to this box right here, dragging a box around everything I do want, pressing apply and continue, clicking on the print then cut image. I'm going to rename this and press upload. Okay, do that for all of your months. All right, we have all of our months uploaded. Now what you want to do is go back into upload image, and you want to find that mason jar file that I had you download. Here it is right here. We are going to go with the SVG, and the one that I am going to use is this one right here. So template number 2. We're just going to drag and drop that into our Cricut, and let's rename this mason jar. We don't have to do anything else. We're just going to press upload. Okay, let's take care of this part first. So I'm just going to click on all of my months and also my mason jar and press add to canvas. Okay, let's just align everything to the center, and we're going to make this smaller. We're going to click that mason jar and just bring this over here, and let's just make this bigger. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here into contour, and I'm going to hide all contours. Okay, when we did the hide all contours, everything but this small little circle hid, and I actually don't want that. I want this like very outside piece. So I'm going to hover over, and do you see how it got dark? I'm going to click on that, and then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to click that circle, because what I really wanted was that mason jar outline. When I have that done, I'm just going to click out of the box. So this right here, I want to turn white. So I'm going to click on it and I'm going to turn white. Okay, then what you want to do, there's 12 months in a year. So we're going to duplicate this until we get 12 mason jars. So copy and paste, there's 2. We'll select both of these, copy and paste, there's 4. We'll select all 4, copy and paste, there's 8. And we'll do copy and paste, which is 12. So there should be 12 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yep. Okay, now select all of our mason jars. We are going to align this to the center. Then we are going to arrange these to the very back. All right, then what you want to do is selecting all of the calendar that we've uploaded, so all 12 months. We want to align this to the center just one more time, making sure that it's all good and stuck on there. And I'm going to put these on top of my mason jar. Now it's going to look really weird, but we just want to trust the process. You're going to align these onto your mason jar. Let's select everything and align this to the center, making sure it's nice and center. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is click on one mason jar, so the very top mason jar, shift on your keyboard, and we're going to find the January one. So this one right here, because I named it January, it's going to be easy to find. And then I'm going to press flatten. Okay, it's going to be dragged up to the top, but you can see that now my calendar is flattened to my mason jar. So I'm going to click on the flatten piece, and I'm just going to arrange this to the back. Okay, then you want to click your next top mason jar, shift on your keyboard and find February and press flatten. And then you're going to arrange this to the back. You want to keep doing this until you run out of mason jars. Okay, now that we have our mason jars attached to our calendars, now it's time to fill those mason jars. Every single month there is a flower, like a birth month flower, and I'm going to fill every single jar to be a birth month, and it's going to stack. It's going to be like a huge bouquet, but every month is only going to have one flower. So the next file that you need to download is the birth month flower file that I have linked in the description of this video. Okay, then we're going to do the same thing that we did with the calendar. We're going to go into upload image. We're going to start with January. So we're going to do January, and I'm just going to do the single carnation for January. So I'm going to drag and drop the PNG file over into Design Space, click complex, and then continue. This particular file has 0 background. So all I'm going to do is press apply and continue. There's no edits needed. So we're going to go over here and click on the print then cut image. I'm not going to rename this, and I'm just going to press upload. Now we are going to do this 11 additional times. So pressing upload image, go back into your design, into your downloaded SVG, and we are just going to find the violet, drag and drop it into Cricut Design Space, pressing complex, then continue. I don't need to do anything else, so I'm going to press apply and continue. Print then cut image, then press upload. Keep doing that until you have all the rest of your flowers loaded in. Okay, now that we have all of the flowers uploaded, you want to click every single flower, just like we did with the calendar in that mason jar. And then we're gonna press add to canvas. All right, now that we have them all uploaded, what you wanna do is the same thing we did with the calendars. We're just gonna resize this all together. So I'm gonna press the January one, shift on my keyboard, and I am just going to click all of the flowers. Okay, let's align this to the center. And then I'm just going to make these smaller all together. Okay, because our mason jars are white and now we can't see the outline of it, let's come over here and we're just going to change our background color over just to a different color so we can see our mason jar. All right, drag this down. Let's zoom out. Okay, what we want to do is selecting all of our flowers. We're just going to put it over here and we want to resize this. Now, you don't have to go too big because we are going to make this look like a bouquet, but we just want it to go like this. Kind of like it fits as if this entire thing will end up being a bouquet. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to arrange all of these to the back. We don't want to see the stems. We're going to see the very front of the mason jar. Okay, now what you want to do is just move these flowers around, making them short. We're going to rotate these. It doesn't matter what flower is where, because when we go to flatten these, we're going to flatten these on the correct months. But we just want to make sure that we can see the flowers as they are stacked. You can make these smaller, larger, rotate them a little bit. I'm going to make this one long. We're just kind of rearranging these to fit just as if it looks like a real bouquet. Okay, doesn't this look like a really pretty bouquet? So I've arranged the flowers. They all look like a jumbled mess right now, but they're gonna be individual cutouts and they'll have a little bit of depth to them when we cut them out on their each individual layers. But this looks like a really pretty bouquet, right? So I like the look of this. We are happy as a clam with what we have here. So what I'm going to do is I am going to select the January flower, and then I'm going to select shift on my keyboard and then that January mason jar. And I'm going to come down here and press flatten. Okay, then what I'm going to do is the same thing I did before. We are going to arrange this to the back. You want to send this to the back. Okay, we are going to find the February flower. Shift on the keyboard, clicking the February calendar, and we are going to press flatten. Then we're going to send this to the back. Doing the same thing the entire way through. So we got the March flower, shift on the keyboard, March calendar, flatten, send to the back. Okay, you are going to do that for everything else. Now we are done with the design process. When we unstack these right here, you're going to think that your flowers, they just look lonely, right? Like this single carnation, it just kind of looks like it's alone. However, when we leave them stacked together, that bouquet of flowers looks amazing. And so throughout the year, like January passes, you're going to put it behind everything else. And look, the bouquet is still really full. February, we're going to arrange this to the back. And like this bouquet still looks absolutely amazing. So it's going to be a bouquet that's going to last you all year long. Now, I have to tell you, my design heart is telling me that I need something at the very top of this mason jar to keep it looking like a mason jar. However, I am going to just add some string to the top of it, some twine, to hold it all together. So it's going to look really cute when we get done cutting it out. So even though it's naked right now, don't worry, we're going to fix that here in a little bit. Okay, now all you want to do is resize your project. I particularly have a printer that prints 11 by 17 sheets of paper. I want my calendar to be fairly large, so I'm going to print fairly big. Oh, and then one important thing, make sure and save your file. You definitely do not want the Cricut to crash on you and then you lose all of this hard work that you have done. All right, let's press make again. Let's see, January, the first mat, it says I can get 3 pages and then everything else is 2. I am just gonna keep it at the size that I have it. Let me press cancel and I can tell you what size we have these. The entire bouquet is going to be about a little under 11 inches, which is fairly large. That is like a size of a piece of letter. 8.5 by 11 is a letter size, so like 11 inches for a calendar, I think that's pretty large. Okay, so I'm going to keep it the size that we have it and just press make. Now I'm going to load in my 11 by 17 paper in my printer. Okay, because we are doing such a large print and cut, you are going to need a 24-inch mat for this project, but if you wanted to, you could totally print this on 8.5 by 11 sheets. I just want to limit how many print and cuts I have to do, so I'm going to do the largest ones possible. Okay, we're going to press continue. And we're going to print on 11 by 17. I am going to send to printer. And for me, I am just going to press this use system dialog button and press print. All right, I'm going to make sure and use the correct media type. And then for paper handling, I want to make sure I am printing on the 11 by 17. Okay, then I'm just going to press print. You're going to want to print all your sheets of paper. Okay, before we cut this, we want to make sure that we are on mat 1. So the last one I printed was mat 5. I'm going to scroll back up to mat 1. You want to make sure that you're on the right mat when you're cutting. All right, you want to open up your Cricut, and we're going to slide in our mat. Okay, the cardstock that I'm using is a fairly thick cardstock, so I'm going to leave it at the Cardstock Plus setting. Then over on the computer, I'm going to press the fast cut mode and then just press the C button. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Okay, let's eject the mat. Okay, so this is what the calendars look like all cut out, and it absolutely looks gorgeous. Now remember, when we unstack these, one is going to look really naked and very empty, right? But once we stack them back up into a full bouquet, they look amazing. Okay, couple things that I would like to note. If you want this calendar to lay flat on your desk, then you don't have to do any additional steps. I would just take some twine and wrap it up. However, my calendar, I want it to stand straight up. So what I ended up doing is I took my calendar, and some of these floral stems are very, very thin. So what I did was I put some UV resin on the back of my stems. It's going to be hard to tell, but there is like just some clear UV resin going on the back, and I cured it under my nail lamp. And look at that. So now it's not as flimsy and it'll stand straight up. And I did do that with all of the flowers because those flower stems are pretty thin and fragile, and I just wanted to make sure that it stood up nice and tall all year long. Okay, the other thing too, which this is the last thing, once you get done wrapping this up, now that collar of the jar does not look as naked. Remember in the design process, I did tell you that this kind of looked a little empty. Once you add a piece of twine or ribbon, it definitely fills it out. So this calendar, the way it lays, looks absolutely gorgeous and would be a perfect desk calendar. But again, if you wanted it to stand straight up, it's not going to stand on its own with the layers. It's going to want to fall over. So what I do is I have these little stands that I get normally for my large styrofoam character cutouts. And I just took the sticky part back. You can tell I've been using it. And I just am going to tack this on top of the last one that's on there. And so now it stands up on its own. And then every month you can take this off, undo the string, change the months out, and still have them stacked, and it'll still stand on its own. But isn't that so stinking cute? I absolutely love this calendar. Oh my goodness. All right, y'all, I sure hope I inspired you to create, and I'll see you later.